Hey guys, Ryan Groth here, and in this week's video blog, I want to talk about why the sleazy salesman exists and why it's a problem and why you need to fix it and how to fix it. So, first off, if you don't know me, I'm the founder, president, CEO, you name it, of Sales Transformation Group. I help contractors grow their sales and make things predictable and transform their people. So what I want to talk about today in this week's video blog, which I publish every single week, is the concept of why the sleazy salesperson exists. And you may know them as somebody who's fabricating the truth. They are cutting corners and they're showing no signs of integrity. They tell you the world and they don't fulfill it. You know, they sell a job, and if you're an owner, you know, they sell a job, you think it's going to be a great job until they realize that there was a bunch of stuff that they promised the customer would come and it wasn't included in the bid, or did they pay for it? So now you're coming out of pocket for it, and you're just in this place of flux and frustration constantly because you have the salespeople who are, doing things that are poor. And the reality is that's really bad because your brand is impacted, and then even worse, people don't want to sell for you, or do they want to sell at all? You know, a lot of folks are stuck, and I'm hoping to break this, with this stigma that salespeople are like car salesmen, and that's how they function, right? And it's really sad because sales is one of the most fulfilling, most lucrative, and one of the best roles that you could play, and it's actually the best skill that you could probably have in business. And if you're in the world, you need to survive in this economy and thrive, then you should probably learn how to sell. So what I want to talk about today is why it exists, and it has a lot to do with actions, right? So you see the actions, you see the ripple effect of those actions of over-promising, under-delivering, things like that. Actions are always preceded by beliefs, and beliefs are going to be, the pillar mindset, things that your mind is convinced of and you believe to be true, which dictate behavior and action. And then below that is motive. So I believe that motives and what motivates you is going to create a belief system, an ecosystem that dictates your behavior. So what I'll tell you is that a lot of salespeople certainly are motivated by survival, and so they have to sell to survive. But there's some deeper layers that I want to touch on today that really make a huge impact on this whole situation. So I'm going to talk about the concept of from or for. So what I mean by this is, what this exercise is going to be is I'm going to put a word in here, and we're going to talk about how these motives and beliefs in this ecosystem, when they're placed under the category of from, is really cool compared to what happens and when we're in the for category. So one thing that you want to do is, when you're selling, certainly the output you want is value, right? The output we want is that there's perceived value in the marketplace. You don't have to cut price and lower your bid in order to get the job, which puts pressure on your project managers and your crew guys and your man in the field or women in the field, and therefore you're creating stress. You just don't make enough money, so that you have to sell more volume in order to make up for that, and you're using your resources, your labor, and in a not so profitable environment. So we want value, right? That's the output. However, if we are in the sales capacity and we're selling for value, think about this as a person. If you're selling for value, sure, we want value, but let's go deeper. What if the salesperson's, as an individual, and their motivation is to sell for value? What if that their sales, they're doing sales and they're selling to get them value? So they're selling more to get value. What do I mean by that? Well, who they are is somebody who, when they sell or when they do anything, but definitely sells, they're trying to get value. However, what this creates is it creates bad behavior, because then they're trying to do things that would be of great value to the customer or the prospect, and therefore they actually lower their margins or do something that would create more value because they're looking to get value from the sale, right? They're selling for value. However, when you sell from value, you don't need your sales role, you don't need your sale to give you value. What do I mean by that? Well, when you have somebody who doesn't actually need sales and need their quota to be hit in order to feel valuable, then they're able to really function from a lot different place. They're able to do the right thing, and they're able to actually look at their role objectively, because they're looking at their job as something that's an overflow of who they are. And so when you have this place where, hey, I'm selling from value, they already have a value system versus for, they're a lot stronger. So let's look at this. How about this one? Somebody who sells for validation. So they make a sale, they get validated, right? They hit their quota, their internal bank account goes up. Therefore, they have to have really good months or good weeks and good days every day to kind of feed that addiction. However, when you have somebody who's selling from validation, everybody feels that. Everybody feels it. Therefore, they don't have to do anything that would be crooked or dishonest in order to make the sale in the sales process. They're able to come from a different place. How about this? You're selling for abundance versus from abundance. Once I make this sale, I'll be abundant, versus I'm already abundant. Therefore, when I sell from a place of abundance, which gives you the ability to walk or willing to walk. It gives you the ability to, feel like you can lose the deal and take that edge and take those risks. When you have for abundance, you never take risks. You never ask any good, great, and tough questions. You're really in trouble. How about this? I sell for worth versus from worth. I'll tell you right now, when somebody has a place of from a place of worth, they sell a lot higher ticket items, right? They sell deals that are much higher and larger because they have a value of worth already. I can tell you right now, if you have to sell more to get worth, you're always going to change the narrative every time and never be consistent and never be able to produce consistent results. So this is all important, but let's look at another thing, like not only just sales, but in anything in life. And when I played baseball, I didn't have this from place figured out, right? I didn't have it. So I played a lot of baseball for a lot of these things. And therefore, when I was doing really well, I was feeling a lot of this, right? This is happening. But the thing is about sports and about baseball is that you're not consistently performing, because it's a really hard game. There's a lot of failure involved. So therefore, I was always like this, up and down, and I had the talent and the work ethic, but because I never had this part figured out, I couldn't remain consistent. But this is what's changed for me, and in my sales career, I've always been able to recover from failure very quickly, rejection very quickly, and my money tolerance is always going higher. My need for approval is always going away. My emotions and ability to control is always getting better, because I'm always functioning from this ever-growing place of from versus for. So if you are thinking, gosh, I'm a sleazy sales guy, are you doing what you're doing for this? It's not what you want to be, right? Nobody wants to be that person. How about this? How about we take away your role every morning for 10 minutes to an hour? You spend time working on all of this part, and you're living from this place, and I guarantee you're going to sell way more, and it's only going to grow. And stop selling for these things and sell from these things, because your beliefs are followed by or preceded by your motives, beliefs, and your actions all perpetuate. So I would focus on this. Get your place of from, who you are, really going. Value, validation, abundance, worth, options. Right? And now you're moving out of survival mode into thriving, but it has to start from in you, right? If you don't have that stuff in you, you're in trouble. So anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video blog, and go ahead and like, share, comment. Have a great one.